up the stairs and was getting very nervous because there was water that was starting to rise up the stairs. This was all in a matter of 30 minutes. And from what I'm told, there was 30 foot of water that came into her home at that time. They said that at some point the call just cut off. And at that point, they tried calling her back and they couldn't get in touch. What I know from there is that around probably 11 my time, so this was 3:30, around 11, we had heard news that her home had swept away.
And so when was the last time you managed to speak to her?
We've texted randomly back and forth that previous week. She had texted me probably Monday, Tuesday time frame, and she said she loved me and that she knew I loved her. I texted her something, just a random link to something to buy, and she hearted it the day before. So really, it was mostly through text. That last week, we spent the last time that we spent together probably was Father's Day. So that would have been mid-June.
How do you remember her?
She was a fierce woman. She was always there for me when I needed her. She was a kind individual, and it wasn't just me that she was there for. She was there for everyone. My cousins, are reaching out like, oh my gosh, she was the one who I called. My aunts and my uncles and everybody, they talked to her all the time. And so she was that person. She was that rock for everybody. I remember her as very happy to work at the Hope House that she lived behind, because it serves nonverbal, disabled children and adults that live there without their families. And so she would absolutely just well up with tears when she talked about her job and the service and the mission that she was doing there with that job. She was a loving person. She also had a cute little Yorkie. She was about 5 pounds, and a Yorkshire Terrier. And she unfortunately was lost in the flood as well. But that was her life until she loved that dog. She also was a doting grandparent. She has 5 grandchildren, but she just absolutely loved every one of her grandchildren. And she loved to crochet. That was her thing. She made many beautiful blankets, and she gifted crocheted items to everyone that she loved. She had it all over the place.
Donald Trump's thought to be visiting the area on Friday. What would you say to him?
I would say that what we're seeing with the defunding and the dismantling of the safety of our country is proving to be dangerous and life-threatening. And it's taking away children, grandparents, mothers, fathers. And it's absolutely not something that we should continue to do.
That was Delilah Greenslet there speaking to me earlier. Her mum passed away after being caught up in the floodings in her part of Texas, 64-year-old Sherry Richardson. Okay, you are listening to Newsday on the BBC World Service with James Copler and Priya Rai.
This is the BBC World Service, where Aidan Tulloch is telling the story of Ark of the Dry Land.
We've come to Morocco to meet the farmers and scientists who are using ancient grains to grow modern crops in some of the world's driest lands.
Thanks to the new technology of sequencing, you can look for the genes that may be completely hidden.
As far as the eye can see, there are these golden waves of wheat and barley, crops that have been tested for disease resistance or drought tolerance. This is a living laboratory. All the seeds are